What's up, family? I'm back for another video, and the name of this video is going to be Chosen Ones. Why titles? Why titles is ruining your life? Why titles is ruining your life? And I'm gonna get straight to the nitty gritty on this video because I'm sitting here talking to myself in my head. I'm like, man, like everybody who wants to be like or fit in with other people always somehow damage themselves. And the funny thing about damaged family is it happens very small and then becomes very big. Like most situations could be salvaged. Most diseases could be fixed. Most people who mess up their lives could fix their lives. Like it's not that far off. You know, it's a thin line between health and you know bad health and good health. It's a thin line between being rich and being broke. Like if I'm rich, all I got to do is have a rich friend who wants to sell me something that costs a great amount of money, and then if I want to buy it, that can make me not rich no more. Like I'm not saying that like that because then you still got friends. Like you could fix that situation too, but I'm just saying like life is funny because a lot of people struggle with things that could be easily fixed. Now, what I'm saying is, family, a lot of y'all titles is destroying y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I see how what it did in my life. Now I'm gonna talk about me a little bit. I'm gonna talk about me a little bit because I don't know each and every one of y'all inside and out all the time. But I know with me, family, it's like last year or whatnot. And I'm gonna start with this. It be the people closest to you that get you because those are the first implementers. Implant, implant. They implant. Implementers. They implant into you what my therapist would say: fear, doubt, uh, gaslighting. Just they give off like a plant. Like plants have a scent. People do too. Like they give off something. We all give off something, right? And that's normal. That's normalcy, right? That's life in general. You can't be mad at that. What you could be mad at is how hard someone's going to get you to be like them. That's kind of psychologically hindering, if you ask me. This is why it's good to hang with people who compliment who you are. That's how that is because when you hang with people who compliment who you are and how you are, they don't really do too much like hindering. Like they don't hinder your spirit. They don't go against the grain. You know, they respect you. They know who you are. They know how you are. They know how you move. Know how you think, and they either respect it or they don't. And I'm telling y'all, family, life is like that. It's like you got to get to a point in your life where you recognize like it's either black or white. It's got to be black and white. You have to because that's how that's how the world is ran. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you look at things black and white, like some things require you to look at it uh non-logical, right? But like this is a black and white statement. When I say titles are ruining your life because think about it. Narcissism in your family, they only that wouldn't even exist. Like you can't look at like, oh, this is my mom. You can, but if you look at all the other ways you could look at that, some are more healthier ways to look at that. Like my therapist always say, like that's not your mother, that's your adult mother. After you're 18, that's your adult. Now I don't have a real therapist, but I study therapy and stuff like that. But and I call him my therapist because he's so good that it's like I call him that. But that's your adult, like a neighbor or it don't matter the financial situation and none of that. If you're over 18, you're on your own. You feel me? And that's black and white. Now, a lot of parents will try to finesse their kids and make their kids feel like you're not on your own, this and that, and that's all BS. Like that's all BS. Um, you're on your own, family. You're on your own, and guess what? The quicker you, um, the quicker you pick up on that, the quicker better off you'll be because, like I said, you have to be your own warrior. You have to be your own slayer. Like you have to be your own like survivalist. Like you have to know how to survive. And the longer you wait to get on that type of time, family, the more it's not like one of them things like you can avoid. You know what I'm saying? It only gets worse. And so it's like 95% of people out here got potential to do the things that they don't think they really got potential to do. Like, like they either haven't been practicing enough or they haven't been trained like that because you grew up around narcissistic parents who look, it's two ways of narcissism. It's the way to if I'm giving you everything you want, that's still narcissism because I'm setting you up to be weak. If I'm giving you everything you want, it's just as bad as giving you nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's black and white. If it was the way you show somebody love and the way you grow somebody and for their best is that you give them a portion. You give them a portion. You make sure they got what they need, and you give them. And in my opinion, you give them more uh, street smarts, and you give them more like a therapist. They don't give you nothing really but good advice. Like what I'm saying, like, hey, I think this is the best bet for you, and they say it in a way that is non-intrusive, and that's the most important part. Because once you start making the child feel intruded, then there will never ever be. Uh, it's like you're pillaging them, like you're breaking their boundaries down, and you're not making it. You know what I'm saying? And this is just what happens in society a lot of the time with people and their kids. So then you spend the rest of your life or whatever many X amount of years trying to rekindle that flame of just being strong or being emotionally fit, being emotionally available, not cutting off and breaking off every connection that come your way because you got to build up and muster up that um, integral strength again because somebody right near you was playing around with it. Uh, Yeah, so you gotta revive that. You gotta revive that. And thank God that God made it to where we can actually do everything I'm speaking on. But it's the title. Like I said, it's the title of, oh, this is my mother. She used to buy me McDonald's. She used to buy me this and that. And then it's like, oh, like, and then this title stuff goes deep and it goes everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really. So with you as an individual, like I said, I noticed in my life, like whenever I'm alone, it's black and white. I know what I want to do. I know what I don't want to do. It's nobody there to add vices to me. I always told my mom back in the day, like, I don't like advice because it's like, look at the word, you're adding a vice. And of course, she'll take that and be like, you look into everything, you do that, because she's gaslighting me. So I don't know that she's adding a vice, but I already know that advice. Look, why do people drive? Why do people thrive when they're alone? Why do they go further when they're alone? Why do they do better when they're alone? Because two plus two is four, right? I don't need advice. Every statement I make is already a period at the end of it, right? It's already a span of it's already it's already worded correctly, right? But when no one's around to affirm that, then guess who gets the caveat to gaslight you? whoever's that third person. It don't even got to be that narcissistic person, but it's a lot of narcissistic people all around the planet. That's what I'm telling you. So it could be, and don't get it twisted. This narcissism stuff, it stems and it goes like a wire cable. It's so like long and it goes wherever you go. If you don't handle the first narcissist in your life the right way, all it's do is open up doors for everybody else who's the same way. So let me put it like this: one narcissist, say it's your mother. If you don't never handle her the right way, like you're supposed to, which is telling her no about things and having boundaries and just being, an authentic human being, like being real with your mom, it'll carry over because you didn't know how to handle your mom. It'll carry over into other because you letting a narcissist have portions in on your life, like your decision making and stuff like that. They'll only invite in more narcissists to the party. They'll only invite because, like I told you, it's black and white, so they can't do nothing right. So you'll be confused because you'll think that, hey, if this is my mother, she can help me with little things. She just can't help me with nothing big. And so that thing inside your head to tell you that, and that's a lie. They can't help you with nothing. When it comes to this substance called growth, they can't help you with any parts of it after 18. And I'm gonna tell you, it don't gotta be 18, but 18 is what we legally say is that age or whatever. So let's go with 18. Once you hit a certain mark, whatever the mark is for you, you have to come to grips with either I'm going to turn, like I said, it's a black and white moment. Either I'm going to turn the wheel towards adulthood or I'm going to accept that, hey, I don't want to be an adult and I want to stay in a Candyland place, position, or whatever. And that's the thing, right? That's the matter. That's the paraphernalia. You know what I'm saying? The whole paraphernalia is you coming to grips. It's not them coming to grips with nothing. They don't ever have a choice to begin with, and that's the secret in the sauce, is that they never really had a choice. I mean, yes, it's your mother, but what else is she? She's a woman, and women really can't control men. They never really could control men. They just could control you. Now, yes, I'm talking about my life, but I'm also sharing this as wealth of knowledge for everybody because a lot of y'all got girlfriends and sisters and aunts and grandparents and just family members in general. And y'all don't understand why it is y'all keep falling back into situations that don't stand. It don't stand. Uh, like, you don't like. You may have moved out the city, but somehow you got back into your city. You may have got a girlfriend, or you may know how to get women, but somehow you keep losing them, and they can't. They don't. Nothing sticks with you. And like I told you, it's really just because of the way you allow titles to matter in your life. Titles is a thing in my opinion that animals don't do. Animals don't. Nature don't do that, right? We do it, right? We the ones who put labels on stuff and we mark stuff down and we make sure it say this versus that to let each other know whatever is, right? But animals and nature and things that are closer to Mother Nature, like they don't really do that. It's free. It's like, okay, I'm giving this earth. Let me be a spirit in the flesh, and let me just ride this ride out. Let me ride this ride out and see how. Let me respect it. Like let me allow it. You know what I'm saying? Like they give Mother Nature allowance, not their fleshly parents. You know what I'm saying? After 18, I honestly feel like Father Time and Mother Nature are your real parents. You know what I'm saying? They are your real parents. Yes, you still have fleshly parents that you should check in with maybe once or twice a month. You know what I'm saying? Uh, the 15th and the 30th of the month where I prefer to get my haircuts. I ain't have a haircut in a while, but I prefer to get my hair cut on the 15th and the 30th. You know what I'm saying? Of each month. That's when you should. Well, I'm speaking to myself, but I'm speaking to y'all too. But you know, you shouldn't even talk to your parents, bro, because they're a big distraction, bro. And it sounds crazy to the psyche of how they built you to take things personal. Like my mom built me to take things personal. She built me to think that saying no is a crime. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to eat all your food at the table. That's okay, but that's not an abundance mindset. That's a poverty lack mindset that you're installing in a kid. So when do I drop that? You know what I'm saying? I can't drop it because it's subconscious because you raised me like that. So that's something that only falls off after maybe doing some journaling or shadow work or just addressing it. But also just like with me actually building a life that poverty is not the case. You know what I'm saying? People literally raise poverty kids and then they ask them, "Where's your job? Why aren't you working? Where you know a lot of kids your age, like it'll be the people who raised you telling you this. Like a lot of kids have been doing this and been off in college and you raised me, bro. Okay, I raised you, but da 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 da. There's no but. It's no but. It's black and white. So if I raise a son or a daughter, bro, I am literally instilling in this person every little atom of information, every little nucleus. There's no excuse. I can't sit there and say, oh, they their own person. You know, after 18, yeah, they are technically legally their own person, but literally, we responsible for our kids, bro. Like everybody should know that, bro. If you don't know it, then you're just not you're not ready. This is what it is. If you don't know it, you don't want to know it. You just don't want to know it. You're in denial. You don't want to say like, hey, like this is mine. You know what I'm saying? This is mine. But see what here's the thing, like uh you don't have to care, family. Like you don't have to care about somebody claiming you or not. Yes, people claim me. I'm not saying nobody don't claim me or I'm some lost runaway type of person, but it's people like that out here. But what I'm saying is that whether you're not, whether you're, whether you're quote unquote claimed or not, because like I said, that's a title. You got to look at the way people treating you and you judge at whether you're really claimed or not, because people will have you living with them or have you in a situation that resembles how you grew up, but really that's no longer even real. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're already grown, bro. You need to really penetrate the world. You don't need to sit around and allow situations to remold themselves or reshape themselves like the past, because that's exactly what be trying to happen in the Matrix. It be trying to reiterate what once was, and it be coming through your mom, and I find it funny, but it's also not funny. It's also very disturbing, very disgusting. That's why a lot of women out here be like, "Oh, I can't be with this guy because his mother is all up in his business." And like, come on, bro. No female want that, bro. Like, no female want that. And me as a man, bro, like, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, yeah, when I was younger, like that was a situation of mine. Like, but I was like what, 19, 18. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm like 10 years above that, I'm not like that's impossible. Like that's I ain't gonna say it's impossible because anything's possible, but the way I think, like I would, I got boundaries. Like, I think that with my mom in general, I never really thought about boundaries. Really, I never really thought like that because, like, even growing up, we'll be living in one apartment, bedrooms and stuff like that, and we have to sleep in the same bed and stuff like that. So, like, the person who feeds you and all that, you're not thinking of a boundary at all. That's not a part of your, with your mother really. But in a real household, like, with the father there and stuff like that, it's not ever gonna. That would have never been the case because then the father would have been in the bed, and then it would have been like, okay, the son kind of got to like have his own space. We got to make space for him. It was more so like, I would call it like an enmeshed situation. But to bring it back to the title thing, man, like a lot of parents is raising their kids under this, I would call it like a false pretense. Then that's the word. Like they might love you and stuff like that, but it's not it's not what they run in game. Like false pretense means a veneer, a cover, a facade, a front. This is why a lot of people don't grow far in life because they allow their parents to do that. You know what I'm saying? To disguise, like, hey, I love you, Johnny. You're still that little boy I always knew. And deep down within the gut area, you believe that somewhere. And everything in society is built to reinforce that thing, that matter. And it keeps what it does is it keeps you uh it holds you longer in places that you shouldn't be in. So say for instance, if that same mother was to die or to leave or just get up and leave you, you would technically have no choice but to march in a certain way that you would never march had that parent just sat there and just act like that, put that veneer up for you. You know what I'm saying? You would march, and you could know this and still not do it because the situation, quote unquote, feels uh, comfortable and is given that facade. It's given that pretense for you. Is a false front, and so the amount of work, family, that you have to put in to build your new life, uh, you have to visualize it, you have to manifest it, you have to see it, and you have to actually build it, and you have to emotionally, like, in a way, like like you have to kind of feel it, you have to have a feel for it, you have to see it, you have to like live it out in people's faces, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, it's haters out here, whatever, but you have to live it out, and you have to understand. Uh, you have to understand life. You have to understand the world. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand the world. It's a lot of things about the world that, family, you may not know. You may not know, and because you don't know, then it's like you have to seek knowledge. Like you have to want knowledge, and that's another big thing. I want to end this video on that note. Like if you're gonna be hungry for anything in the world, be hungry for knowledge. Stop eating fast. You don't gotta be hungry for food. Like trade out the Popeyes, trade out the, become a vegan, become a vegetarian, become a fruit eater, frugivore. You know what I'm saying? Fruitarian, and only drink water and eat air if you want, but eat unharmful air. Um, but swap out the food that you like to eat that you know is not good for you. Preferably, it'll be the food that the narc will buy when it comes to your mind. What the narc will buy, but trade out the food that they would typically buy for your hunger for knowledge. And I want y'all to gauge that on a percentage scale, right? How much do I be wanting or craving? How much do I be craving Popeyes or ice cream sandwiches? How much do I be craving that stuff versus craving my next move on the chessboard? How much do I crave? How much do I crave? Because look, I'm gonna tell you like this. This is why a lot of people lose. the craving of the food came from the narcissist, but the craving of the knowledge, that's coming from the part of you that wants to grow and live and have a better life. That's so those are two totally different yous, right? I always tie the word you to universe, right? Those are two different universities, right? The university of poverty and lack and narcissism relies in the ice cream sandwiches and the Popeyes, but the university of my future, my wife, my kids, my growth, my stability, my hunger, my health, my wealth, all of that is in the university of seeking knowledge. So if it's 24 hours in a day, how much am I putting a brick over here versus putting a brick over there? Because I'm telling you right now, you are in the middle of those two universities, and every day you wake up, you can choose. Okay, I'm gonna put a brick on this one today. Or I'm gonna put, and don't get it to it. You can't put them on both. Sometimes you're gonna mess up in life. I understand that, but just know, I'm giving y'all a measurement how you can measure this. Just know, every time you put a brick over here, you're taking a loss. You're going against the grain because life wants to automatically grow. Life, look, everything in life wants to live and grow. But you have to nurture yourself in such a way where you can easily, you got to create the pathway for that to come out because it wants to, right? Everything wants to flourish. But see, you have a lot of people who are living in situations that's 50-50, right? 50% of them wants to destroy and 50% of them wants to grow. You have to train yourself in a way where that percentage that doesn't want to grow, that wants to go back, you have to like neutralize that somehow. You have to like set up psychological tendencies for yourself to taper that off so that you can just go to the side that you need to go to. Because the part of you that wants to, that remembers the past, that wants to sag your pants, that wants to fit in, blend in, that wants to be cool, all that stuff. Like listening to Lil Wayne and all that stuff. Like that was a great time. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gonna put it like this: it felt like a great time. When I used to eat Skittles, it felt like I could taste it now. Like I still think that I love that candy, but what it is that I fell in love with the feeling of it. It's not the actual. It's not. It's not beneficial. It's not substantial at all. It's not substantial. And this is the difference between a man and a boy. Like even when it comes to women, and I'm gonna end it on this, like dating. A big part of childhood that carries over into our adulthood is we all go for looks. We all go for looks. But her looks ain't her at all. It's just like the Skittle. You know what I'm saying? It kills. It's not good. It's not good for you in no fashion. And you have to be like, man, like F you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to deal with it because you're toxic for me. And I'm not about to I'm not about to reward in my life things that don't reward me back. And that's the biggest part of this. Everybody think growth is just getting up and physically moving on things, but no, it's like it's inverse to that. It's not moving at all. It's being still. And it's like understanding that, hey, like, the universe will reward you whether you move or sit still if you understand the algorithm, like how things work. Like, like, nah, she look good, but nah, I'm not about to do that. Okay, so you're not about to do it. The universe heard that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody might not hear it, but the universe heard that. So it's like, okay, now I'm about to bless you with a better blessing because you learned your lesson on that lesson. So it's not even about physically anything. It's about emotionally and internally understanding. Like uh, I'm not about to chase. Like Jay Z said, I don't. We don't chase him. We replace him. And so that's like the most. I see why Jay Z. So I never really was a Jay Z fan, but I see why he's such a mogul because that's universal talking. Like it don't matter who you are, where you come from. If you're really a man or a woman, like an adult, that's the language of that. You know what I'm saying? No adult is chasing nobody. No real mature person is chasing anybody on planet Earth as we speak right now. You won't see it because it's the difference between being the boss and being the worker. And no matter what animal on the planet we talking about, or whatever deity or entity or whatever on this, there's no boss that's chasing behind a worker. Here and there, the boss would show a little weakness, a little humility, but that's not natural. That's not how anything on the planet operates. If you're bigger, stronger, better, and put in more work, and you're the boss, you're gonna, it's their loss. You know what I'm saying? It's not your loss for real. And so, like I'm saying, they say it costs to be the boss. It's true. It costs a lot. You have to put in hard work. You have to put in hard work. And so when you want to say to yourself, "Hey, I want to grow. Hey, I want to do better," you got to realize like, what are you actually saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, you don't know what come with that, right? That could strike fear in you. That could strike fear inside of you because you don't know, right? The answer is you don't need to know, right? That's the solution. That's the solution to that. You don't need to know. You need to know if God is real or not. A lot of people think they need to know, but that's the thing is that you don't know. So that means that you can't have faith if you know. It kills the faith because you already know, right? So it doesn't. That's the thing. You would not need faith if you knew, right? So the faith is the ability to see what can't nobody else see. Everybody might think you crazy, but you see something, right? And that might be a crazy man blind spot, maybe, but it also just is like uh I feel like I'm going in circles a little bit. I'm about to end this video, but I want to end it on a clear note. And the clear note is you are who you are and you are what you are. You're gonna be who you are. And the best thing in life is nobody has to care or like it. Nobody has to like it. And the way you move, people gonna know that hey, this person is real versus fake. They're gonna know. Like, I'm gonna end it on this. Yesterday I was talking to a girl and it's so funny how this is. Like, let me show you how comical it is. She gets to I tell her like, hey, you caught my eye, you look good, da 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 da. I'm trying to get to know you, blah blah blah. And she immediately goes into like, no, thank you, I'm sorry. But she was doing it